Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Lost Boyz Podcast. This is episode 6. We're also the number one podcast on Mars. I just got word back from my cousins.
Dope.
And yeah, I'm Gianni.
Brandon.
Welcome.
Episode 6.
There we go, baby.
6 down.
Yeah, 6 down. It's crazy. Low-key went by fast.
Facts.
Yeah, it feels like we just started, to be honest. I mean, we kind of did just start.
Yeah, like, we're still new to it in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know, it feels like...
Yeah. You know what it is? It's because we only do one a week.
True.
So it's really our sixth time only recording, but we've been posting for 6 weeks already.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is why you start, guys. This is why you start.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
True.
Starting and just figuring it out.
Listen.
Yeah, you got it.
I was going to say, you don't have the answers for everything.
Yeah.
Like, part of life is just figuring out wherever you are right now and figuring out what the next step is.
Exactly, yep. But before we get into that, we just have a new idea that Brandon came up with, so we're going to give it a shot. Please participate so that way we can actually do it. But basically, I'll let you take it away, Zero.
Sure. So what we want to start doing is having you guys interact more with us in a way of like, if there's any topics that you want us to talk about or if you think you need advice on, we want you guys to DM us on Instagram or leave them in the comment section down below with your ideas or topics that you want us to talk about. And if you do and we talk about your topic, we will shout you out for it, give you the credit you deserve, as well as help you and give you our opinions on what we think we can bring a value to you on that said topic. Because there's a lot of you guys who might be needing advice or at least want to hear somebody else's perspective on different things. And that's honestly why we started this was
exactly.
We're all lost.
That was the whole point, yeah. And then also, like you said before, if you don't want to be shouted out, like you want to remain anonymous, you just tell us in the DM.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just say anonymous said. And we don't have to say your name.
It's true.
So on and so forth. Also, the other thing I want to start getting into and get going, I know I mentioned it last episode, was the Discord too.
Yeah.
Definitely want to start doing that. If you don't have us on Instagram already and you want to DM us a topic or an idea or suggestion, anything, you can follow us on Instagram for now at least.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is at Gianni Rosado, GIONNIROSADO.
That was a lot of letters right there. Mine is at King Nathaniel, King with 2 I's, KIING and ATHANIEL.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure I fucked that up, but like, that felt good.
You'll find it.
Yeah. I'll put it on the little screen right here.
There
There.
There you go. So yeah.
But yeah, no, ultimately the goal is just to keep you guys more, we want to make this a community as apart from just us two talking, because if we're trying to bring value to you guys, we need to know what areas it is that you guys would like assistance in or would like opinions on. So I think this would be...
Yeah, not only that, you could bring value to us
True.
too by sharing a perspective or an idea. Like, oh snap, you know what? I never actually thought of that before. You know, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's share whatever I think I know about it for now. And I have people shit all over me because of my opinion. But that's what I want.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like what we said in the last episode. You want your opinion to be proven wrong or your mindset to be proven wrong so like that you can improve.
Yeah. And if we get multiple DMs, if they kind of fit in together, we'll cover as many as we can. If not, we'll probably cover maybe one that we feel like we can talk about more and then save another one for the following week or whatever. And what I might do too on my Instagram is just post like every week before we shoot, I'll post like, what do you think you need advice on?
Yep.
Or what do you need help with, or so on and so forth. And that'll be another way to also figure it out. But
ultimately, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. We're just here to help. Honestly, you guys listening and reaching out and talking to us is actually probably helping us more than we're helping you. At least so I think, right? Because like we could be helping somebody like crazy right now and have absolutely no idea because like no one's flat out said, "Wow, you know, like you saved me" or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some really good things, some really good feedback. That's kind of still like, wow, what the heck?
Yeah.
But I think if anything, hearing that actually does more to me, and at least I think, right? I could be selfish, but I think for me personally, like hearing people, like hearing that it's impacted them, does more for me. Like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you're helping me out more than anything. 'Cause I feel like I'm just as lost as you are, but the fact that I still provided value or helped you in a certain way, it's pretty dope.
I agree. Like, when we talk about it and we see people giving us, like, you know, the you helped me in this way, like it, not to be cliche or nothing, but that shit, like, it feels good. Like, you're like, yo, like, damn.
That shit, like, sparks a fire in me. I'm like, fuck, I want to record 10 podcasts right now. I'll do that shit live. And then I say something wrong and get it canceled.
Let a wild insert some bad words here slip.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about figuring it out. And it's kind of broad. Like, we're not saying, like, figuring out about one specific thing. We mean it more in the broad aspect, like, just figuring life, I guess, out.
True.
Like, whatever it may be for you, whatever situation you're going through, just trying to figure that out. And kind of relating that to us, too. Like, I know for me, for example, I've been trying to figure shit out for the last 23 years of my life. And I'm still trying to figure it out. So, like, whether you're 18, whether you're 30, whether you're 50, whether you're 25, everybody's trying to figure something out, if not almost everything in their life out at some point. Or at least that's the way it seems so far, 23 years that I've been here.
And that's how it is. Like, you might look at somebody that's in a position that you want to be in and be like, damn, I need to figure out how to get there. When in reality, they're trying to figure out their way of life and figure things out in their own life. They might just have a certain aspect that you want figured out.
Yeah.
Figured out.
Exactly, yeah.
But everybody's playing this game and everybody has their own challenges and obstacles in front of them. Just some might be different for other people.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake a lot of people make is thinking they need to have things perfect before they jump into it. In other words, they need to have it figured out before they do it. And I think that's a big mistake. That's a mistake I made too, like me personally. And I still make the mistake. But it's just that sense of you don't want to jump into something and have that feeling of like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, oh, I don't know this, I don't know that. So then you create an easy alleyway for you to just go up and say, okay, I lost, I defeated. And then you say, oh, I tried.
Yeah.
But you didn't really try. Trying is like giving it your 100%. You're all just throwing yourself in there and just fighting with the lions. And you fight until your arms don't move no more.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can say, okay, I tried. Then you really tried. But if you just put your foot in the lions then and saw a couple lions like, fuck that, and then you like ran out. Like, you didn't try.
Yeah. You just you didn't try. It's like if you decide, oh, I want to try playing baseball. You go one day, you field a few ground balls, and you're like, nah, this isn't for me. You didn't try.
Yeah. Or like football. You want to play football, you go to practice one day, they run a drill, you get cracked. I don't want to play no more. You didn't even try.
Yeah.
Everybody gets cracked. It's part of the game.
I remember the first time I got cracked in football.
Yeah, I remember too. That shit was bad.
I got laid out.
Yeah, me too.
I was a little guy.
My feet came off the ground, bro. That shit was bad. But yeah, anyways.
Back to the topic on here.
Yeah. So like that's one of our first points is just throwing yourself in there. Like, stop trying to have everything figured out. Stop trying to be perfect before you got like. A perfect example is us with our podcast,
mm-hmm.
right? The first few episodes, the lighting was terrible. And now the lighting got a little better, but there's still so much more that we need to do, and so much more that we're going to do and
mm-hmm.
want to do. Like, tons of things. But if we waited till we had all of that, we're now 6 weeks into a podcast right now. Right now, we're probably still saying, damn, bro, you know, we should start a podcast.
Yeah.
Just start a podcast. It is 6 weeks that have gone by, and we have posted nothing. We've done nothing. We probably don't even have the equipment still that we need.
Facts.
Like we're still in that same position, but the fact that we just threw ourselves in and we're like, listen, we've never done a podcast before. We don't even know how to do a podcast. We don't know this. We don't know that. We don't know this. We don't know that. We'll learn it along the
mm-hmm.
way. And if it flops, it flops. But shit, at least we can say, you know what, we gave it our all. Like, we tried. We at least tried.
Dude, back 6 weeks ago when we recorded that first episode, if we would have said, you know what? No, let's wait until we buy the mics and buy the expensive camera and buy, you know, a background to put on. Like you said, we would not be 6 episodes in. Granted, it's only 6 episodes, right? We're not at 1 million subscribers or anything like that, but we're 6 episodes ahead and 6 episodes better than we were 6 weeks ago.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And like, I think that needs to be applied to everything in life. Like I'm using the podcast as an example because like it's a perfect example. Like this is what you're watching right now. So you have seen, if you've been watching from the first episode, the quality improve, but you also see how there's so much more of improvement that needs to be done and taken care of. But either way, we said F it, we're just going to do it. Like we know we can use mics. We know like you said, the backdrop. We know all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if we wait for that, we'll never have a podcast.
True.
Right now, no one has an idea, has not even a clue that we even had the idea of a podcast. But you just gotta throw yourself in it sometimes and just figure it out. Like we're gonna say that a couple times.
Yeah.
But you just gotta throw yourself in and figure it out, and you learn along the way.
Dude, look at. It's funny because I said I was gonna talk about him this episode, but look at Elon Musk, right? I don't know if you've ever seen him on Joe Rogan, where he talks about...
I can't listen to him talk. I've tried listening to Elon Musk talk. I get like 5 minutes in, I'm like, bro, I can't no more. This guy's voice is too boring for me.
He's like very socially awkward,
yeah.
apparently. But either way, that's
usually
Daddy
how
Musk.
They all are. All like geniuses, they're very socially awkward.
It's true. Like, look at Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Anyways, he says... when he's like absorbed Tesla, right? He got the name for it and everything, and he was running a car company. He didn't realize how hard it was to run a car company. He said he was actually like flabbergasted by the difficulty. This is a guy who runs SpaceX, which is sending things into space, like rockets into space, and he says running Tesla is harder than that. And he said it on the podcast where it's like, he's in the process of still just figuring it out. Like, he's just problem solving. And if you take that mindset and just apply it to your day-to-day life where it's like, all right, I need to solve whatever problems I can solve today so I don't have these problems tomorrow, you will incrementally, like, skyrocket past where you are today. But it's just a matter of taking those steps at a time, solving the problems you can solve, figuring out, like, I think I said this, like, 3 episodes ago, figuring out what the lowest hanging fruit is that you can grab and solve, and now grab the next lowest hanging fruit and take those steps forward. So like that, you might not have taken leaps forward, but guess what? You're still 3 steps better. You're just that much better. And then eventually down the line, you end up taking that leap, and now you're noticeably different to a point where it's like, hey man, you guys really got good at talking to each other. Or it's like, yo, your set got so much better. Or like things like that. Like just little incremental, what's the word I'm looking for? Like progressions.
Yeah.
Like that really makes a difference in the long run. Like I'm pretty sure we've all seen this example before, right? Where it's like, would you rather have $1 million or a penny doubled every day for a month? Right? Where it's like, you could get $1 million, or you can have a penny that becomes 2 pennies, that becomes 4, 6, and then it goes so on and so forth. But by the end of it, you have like $3 million, and it's just a little penny that doubled and doubled and doubled. So little, very slight progressions make all the difference in the long run. Nobody goes 0 to hero. Nobody goes 0 to 100, but you can go 0, 0.1.
That's not true. Drake does.
Oh, yeah. Drake. I forgot about that. I stand corrected. Drake goes 0 to 100.
Besides him. No.
Besides him, we ain't going 0 to 100.
There you go.
0.1 over here.
Yeah. But no, I 100% agree. As a step at a time. I saw a tweet actually today of a picture of an analogy of like what people think it is versus what it actually is. I wish I could pull it up, the picture, but like, I lost it. Refreshed. But basically it showed 2 people, and one step was like this big, and the other step was just like a normal step, like that. And then this one, you got up the big one, and then it just had little steps like that. This one had the same amount of steps, just the whole way through. And it was saying like, this is what people think it is versus what it really is. It's just a small step to another small step to another small step to another small. Whereas people think, no, I need to get through this one big step, and then I'll figure everything out. Then everything's figured out. That's it. All my problems. But it's that one. It's like a big wall. But in reality, this person is just going step, and they go way further than this person because they're holding themselves back, saying, you know what? I can't climb the wall today. I'll try again tomorrow. And then eventually they're like, nah, you know what? I actually tried climbing the wall, but it's too big. I just can't climb it. And this person is like, well, what are you talking about, bro? You just open the door, there's stairs. You just walk up the stairs. Like it's that kind of perspective on it. Like I feel like a lot of people have to, and that's a mistake I personally make too. Like I need to throw myself into shit more. Like this is one thing I've done, but there's so many more things I need to do and throw myself into, and like I think one of my biggest struggles with it, and my biggest struggle in general, that holds me back from throwing myself in, is going into it knowing that I don't know what I'm doing.
That's a big one.
I think that's a huge thing that people need to accept, including myself, is learning to accept that you don't know what you're doing and you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
And none of that. It was like the analogy I brought up that time we were all hanging out. I said like sometimes like it's scary because I feel like I'm just covering my eyes like with a blindfold and just shooting and hoping I hit the target. But that's what you have to do sometimes.
It's true.
And I never really gave that thought until that day, and I was like, damn, that is exactly like you just gotta accept that you don't know and just figure shit out. Eventually you hear the ding and you're like, oh shit, I hit the target.
Alright, so it's that direction.
And now you know, okay, when my hand's like this and I did this and that, and then it's just an analogy, but like put that into real life.
Listen, yo, dude, that's such a good example. Like, you just have to try different things, and out of nowhere, you get a little bit of feedback in one direction. So now you gravitate. You switch directions. You move towards that. And now you start finding, oh shit, I can take another step forward here. Like, that's so important. Just part of understanding that you don't know what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to learn and figure it out. If you really tell yourself, I know exactly what I'm doing, like I don't need no help, I don't need anything like that, you're closing yourself off to being receptive to the positive feedback that is trying to guide you through your work. Like, what if we ran this podcast but never listened to anything you guys said?
Yeah.
How would we know what's not enjoyable for you guys?
Yeah.
But yet we think we know it all, but we don't know what's actually stopping you guys from enjoying this.
Exactly. 100%.
That's a big thing. Like, we talk about, like, we don't fully know what we're doing here.
Yeah. At least for I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
True. Like,
but I'm just figuring it out, man. I just throw yourself in, accept you don't know what you're doing, figure it out.
And get better.
Yeah, exactly.
Allow yourself to progress.
Yeah, and I think another issue why a lot of people don't progress is because they're too afraid for the fact that, one, they don't want to throw themselves into something. They don't want to do it because they don't know what they're doing. They're afraid to fail. So in return, they never leave their comfort zone.
Yep.
And that, to me, is the most dangerous thing anyone could do, is remain comfortable.
Dude, you ever seen, like, people in, like, their 30s and 40s that are just, they always say, like, oh, I would never expect to have been here. And it's like, that's the consequence of living in your comfort zone too much. Because you might think a certain way, you might have certain goals, but if you're living in your comfort zone, you're now allowing yourself to take the leaps to reach said heights, or to, put yourself in a position where you might meet the right person who's going to help you get to where you need to go. Or you're never allowing yourself to move across the country, but guess what? What if the love of your life is actually living in fucking California?
Yeah.
So you don't ever get to, live that life because you never took that leap. Like, Gary Vee says this all the time, even though he's like a fucking nut, but God, I love Gary Vee. But where it's like, you can go two routes, right? One route, you can go and you can follow like what everybody wants you to do. Maybe go to college, get a degree, work a 9 to 5, in which you'll have like a house and a picket fence and everything. Or you can move across the country, end up meeting somebody, starting a startup, and you build one of the biggest companies ever.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't happen unless you take that leap. Or You don't do that, you know, you drop out, you figure it out, and somewhere else in the country, you end up meeting the love of your life. Like, none of this happens unless you take a step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no growth there. You have to be uncomfortable to grow.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I've noticed when I'm here in Jersey. I say like I fucking travel all the time. But when I'm on vacation, maybe it's because I'm on vacation. I don't think it's because I'm on vacation though. But I've noticed when I'm in Jersey, I'll put this into perspective. Last year, right, we went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Miami, all I was thinking about was, first of all, I was talking to way more people. In the elevators, I was asking people, yo, what do you do for a living? Like, trying to figure out how do people afford this lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they doing? Because maybe it'll open up my mind. Like, I remember I asked one guy, he's like, oh, like life insurance. Another guy did this, another guy. And I was just trying to gather information. And I noticed when I was in Miami, because I want to live there so bad, because I'm tired of being here. Like, I have this true gut feeling, like, if I go there, like, my life is just going to go up and up and up. Like, I feel like life is going to change for the better. So, like, now I'm, like, desperate to leave. And it's been a whole year now.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been super desperate. Now it's like, all right, like, what am I doing? You know, like, if I want it, I got to go get it. And I noticed being in Miami those times, I've become, because I was in a different position, a different comfort level or whatever per se, I was in this place where I don't really know anyone. I mean, I had you guys and stuff, so it was a little different. But I was just talking to random ass people, and being in that uncomfortable or asking people uncomfortable questions like that made me more creative in ways I didn't know I was creative. And I was like, shit, I never like thought of shit this way or that way, this way or that way. Then I came back to Jersey, and I went right back in. And in the beginning, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you fall into that comfort. Your boys hit you up. Yo, let's go out tonight. This, and this. Next thing you know, you're back into the same routine, and then you realize again, bro, what am I doing? Like, obviously, I have made no progress. I'm in the same exact position. I'm not happy with where I'm at. This is not where I want to be at. So what the fuck? And I think leaving your comfort zone is important for that, because if I go and move to Miami, let's say, and I'm living in a freaking studio apartment with cockroaches and rats everywhere, I'm not going to be comfortable.
Yeah. And
therefore, that uncomfortability is going to create me to be like, well, I have no choice but to just throw myself in, accept I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm out my comfort zone now, and I need to figure it out. Like, now it's game time. Like, I don't know how I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just know I'm going to get out the situation. And that's when you grow. That's when you learn. That's when you succeed. That's when you do things that you probably would have never thought you were capable of doing.
That's the difference. Nah, good. That's the difference between wants and needs.
Exactly, yeah.
Listen, I want $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get $1 million. You're just wanting $1 million, right?
Exactly.
And I'm just using that as an example, but it's like, you don't think about, oh, I want food today, but you end up eating anyway, because it's like, you know what? Your body needs food.
Yeah.
So your body gets you to go get food. Like, you have to fight your body to not eat.
Yeah.
You have to get yourself to a point where you have to fight yourself to not do what it is, like, to not progress. Like, take you living in that studio apartment with the cockroaches anywhere. You have to really fight yourself to not want to improve that situation.
Yeah.
Because once you get comfortable, like...
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, like, I don't know anyone that could go from, like, let's say living with their parents, having no expenses built, to living in a situation like that and be like, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
At least for me, I'd be like, fuck that. Yo, dude. I need to live in that high rise on the 85th floor. That's where I want to be.
Yo, real quick, I'm going to say this, and anybody can say that this is wrong. Anybody can say that this is hollow. I don't give a fuck. But I am very motivated by materialistic things. I don't give a fuck when nobody says, I want to drive a nice car. I want to have a nice apartment. Yeah. Is that my only motivation in life? Of course not. Like, I have priorities over that. But I kind of hate this narrative where people are like, nah, man, you should just want to improve yourself because, you know, you want to be a better person for the world. Like, yeah, cool, be a better person for the world. But why is it negative that somebody wants, like, nice shit, Like, yo, I want to dress the way I want to fucking dress. Like, yo, dude, that low-key pisses me off. I'm like, yo, at least for me, I don't understand how, like, virtuous somebody can be to not want better things. Like, my whole life has been like, you live somewhere, all right, you know what, let's upgrade. You know, work hard. Now you moved up a little. Now you moved up a little. I want to move up a lot in life to the point where I can afford, you know, set condo or a nice car.
Yeah, I think the argument they make is like, at what point are you happy? Like, at what point are you like, okay, this is enough? But then at that point, when you finally decide, okay, this is enough, then you're also becoming complacent as well.
True.
So it's like, I think that's the argument they try to make, like okay, you're chasing it for materialistic items in the beginning. But then once you get the materialistic items, then what? Where do you go from there? I'm on your side with it. Like, I agree. Like, a lot of it is for materialistic purposes. Not all of it, but that's definitely a big motivator. Like, my whole thing is my, like, apartment or, like, my condo, wherever I live, I have this problem where I have expensive taste. So, like, I refuse to, like, have to settle for less. I want that fucking penthouse condo. I want a Lamborghini. I want a Mercedes. Like, I want all that shit. So that's like a big motivating, like, I want the financial success. That's a big motivating factor for me. So I actually do agree with you. I'm just trying to play the other side and see what perspective they might ask. And so then my question is, like, at what point, if the materials is the number one thing for you, then at what point do you have enough materials?
That kind of goes into the play of, like, well, you can never have enough materials. Like, you're just gonna, where by nature we want more. That's both a good and bad thing. Like, the reason why we are where we are today, where we have a little plastic box that can capture us, send it to another plastic box, and send that through the fucking quantum realm to your device, is all because we wanted more. I actually think it's a very good thing that we want more, you know, with balance. Like, we want more and we want to progress because that's human nature. Okay, today you did 20 push-ups. Well, guess what? You're going to strive for 21. You're going to strive for 22. Now, can it become toxic and detrimental? Of course. Anything, too much, I think we said this on the last fucking podcast, too much water can become detrimental.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's up to you to balance yourself. Now, in terms of materialistic things, I don't think the strive for more is necessarily bad, but it's when it absorbs you entirely. Like, I want these things, but I'm a sound person outside of that. Like, I have other things I want to accomplish that don't involve materialistic things. So you need to have a balance for yourself where you know, all right, I want this, but this is who I am. Now let me find a way to merge the two in a healthy way. But once you start sacrificing who you are, and I don't mean like changing your habits or anything like that, but like, I'm going to just say something like backstabbing people who, you know, you care about, and to get maybe one step ahead, that's where I would say it's becoming a little more toxic, and that's where you're breaking that balance. I just went on a fucking rant right there. I don't even know if any of that made sense, but to sum it all up real quick, you have to understand where you're going and what your next step is, because the want for that next step is inevitable. The second you say, I'm good here, you don't stay right there. Now you start falling down. You start going backwards. You might think you're staying still, but you're taking steps backwards.
Yeah, and like I said, I agree with your perspective. I was just trying to play devil's avocado real quick. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. Like, I do. The question I was going to ask to play devil's avocado was, I guess the way they, look at it, and I could be wrong too, but the way I think that they look at it is more like, if you base your happiness on the materials. So it's like, oh, you know what? I didn't buy that $10 million Bugatti. I'm a failure. Like, now I'm down. I'm down out. Even though I have $50 million in the bank, or not really. At that point, you can afford a $10 million. But even if I have 500,000 in the bank, but I can't afford that 10 million, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I start doing fucked up shit. Like, I think that's the point like they're trying to make, which I know you kind of touched on, but I guess that's what they say. But I do agree with your perspective. Like, a big motivator for me is not all of it, but a big part of it is material. And I know they say, oh, like, it's bad or whatever, but that's why I laughed when you said it, because I agree with it. Like, I want a Lambo. I want a nice ass condo. I want a Mercedes. The rest, I don't care. I have those 3 things, I'm chilling. At this point, after that, my goals are no longer, my materials aren't the number one or the number 2 thing per se. Like, they're not, if 100%, this is 100% of my reasons, materials no longer 70%. Now it's probably like, I don't know, 30%. Because I already got it now. So now I find that new 70% to take over. And then you go from there. But yeah, anyways.
No, yeah.
I agree. I was just trying to play devil's avocado.
I feel like that should be on like a shirt or something.
Devil's avocado.
But no, so this is the thing too. When we talk about like money and success, we all have different metrics for success, right? So you might hear materialistic things. This is also shout out to the subtle art of not giving a fuck. You might hear the term materialistic things and think that that's my metric of my success. When in reality, those are things I want, but they're not my metric of success. If my family's 100% taken care of and my mother and sister and brother and cousins and everybody never have to worry about money again, but I don't have, let's say, a Miami condo, to me, I'm still successful because I was able to take care of everybody. So, yes, it's a motivator for me. Yes, it's something that I strive for, but it's not my sole thing that it's like, if I don't have this, I failed at life. Gotcha. Because it's the same thing to the, I brought this example up, episode 2, I think it was, where it's a Jordan Peterson example where he talks about this might be your goal now, and as you start chasing that goal, you might, be in a different position in life, and guess what? That might not be the goal anymore. But that goal propelled you to this point, so now you have a new goal. Yeah. And now you move forward with that. And guess what? Your goal might change again. But this whole time, you're still moving forward. Because at the end of the day, I'm a 23-year-old guy, right? I see things that I like. I see a Lambo, cool, I like that. I see a Ferrari, cool, I like that. I see the pounds, cool, I like that. This might not be relevant to me at 28 years old. Maybe at 28 years old, I'm focused more on longevity and assets, right? Even though... Oh, don't get me started. That's a trigger word for me. I could go on for days about assets.
But no, I agree with that too. Like, I agree. I see where you're coming from because I think the same way. I agree with it. Like I said, I was just trying to combat it from the other side of how they might view it. But yeah, I see it the same way, to be honest. It's like, I don't know. Like, honestly, guys, if you want to be rich, like you want to, like, I'll tell you how to do it if you want. Just don't buy that coffee tomorrow morning, bro. You're gonna be rich. I hate that shit, bro. When they're like, if you don't wake up at 5 a.m., if you start making your own coffee, you'll be successful. No, I could do all that shit and still be a fucking bum.
Yo, deadass. Yeah. Now you're just a bum without coffee in the morning.
There you go.
But no, see, I like this idea of. It's all. Hold on. Before I get into what I was gonna say, I also have a different viewpoint because I believe everything is look at yourself and figure it out, as opposed to looking at the world and figuring it out. Like, if I'm at that point where I'm trying to figure out if I should buy tomorrow's coffee or not, then I need to figure out what it is, what's going on with me that I have to contemplate if I should buy this coffee or not. All right, why should I not buy this coffee? It's gonna, my finances. Well, guess what? What's the issue with the finances? All right, bam, I need to make more money. Maybe get a second job. Yeah. Now with the second job, I can afford the fucking $3 coffee in the morning. Yeah. Like,
I forgot. I wish I remembered the stats, but I forgot what it is. But it's not that people are so much bad with their money. It's what the majority of the biggest problem that people have is not handling the money. It's making the money. Like, the majority of the people in America have, or in the world, I guess, per se, I don't remember the exact stat. I wish I did because it just popped in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget. But basically, the stat said that the majority of people have an income problem, not
spending.
Yeah, not so much a spending. Some do. There is a spending problem too, but the biggest issue is the income problem. Because if you have enough income and you spend the same, then it doesn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't have a spending problem anymore once you have more income.
Ooh, hold on. I'm about to bring something up that's about to piss off some people just because you said that. Let's say you make $100 a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you buy that $3 coffee, right? You spent 3% of your income, right? But you didn't think anything about it. You just bought a $3 coffee. Now let's take Elon Musk. Let's say, to play it small, let's say he only had $100 billion, but he chooses to spend $3 billion on buying whatever the fuck he wants to buy.
Yeah.
Where, like, this guy is out of his fucking league. Somebody needs to do something about him. How dare he spend that much money?
Yeah.
When in reality, you guys spent the same equivalence of money. Like, I remember it was something like a penny to the average earner. And I saw this in high school, but it was talking about Bill Gates. It was like a penny for the average earner was like $10 million for Bill Gates, or like some crazy shit.
It's insane.
But
imagine going, oh shit, I dropped 10 million. Yeah, well.
Tell him to drop 10 million.
Pull out my pocket. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about pennies.
Yo, dead ass. But it's like, this is gonna be a complete side note. But given the climate of everything that's going on, shout out Elon Musk for buying Twitter. But it's like, we as a society are so infatuated with what everybody else does with their money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. And it doesn't even have to be rich people either. It's like, yo, John from down the block just bought new shoes. Yo, but he owes me money, right? Like, kind of thing. Like, pocket watching is such a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's such a toxic thing. Like,
it is. It's pointless too. You pocket watch, and what do you get out of it?
Watch your own pockets, goddamn.
Like, yeah, like you worried so much about someone else's life. What about your life?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't you think you should be worrying about that instead? Like, what is worrying about somebody else's life doing for you?
Stop worrying about their life. Worry about yours so you can afford the $3 coffee in the morning.
Exactly. There you go. That's it. You're rich. You're rich. And guess what? At that point, you didn't know how, but you figured it out.
It's true.
And with that being said, let's get back into it.
Back into the topic. There's been a lot of side tangents on this one.
But so the next point is that we have is understanding what stops you. Like, so
that's a big one.
So like you had this idea, I want to start a podcast, man. I want to start a podcast. I'm gonna start a podcast. 2 months go by. You know what? All right, fine. I'm gonna start next week. 3 more weeks go by. What the fuck is stopping you?
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand and self-analyze and be like, all right, why am I not starting? What is it that's holding me back? And why am I holding? In reality, you're probably holding yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I holding myself back? Oh, I'm camera shy. Oh, I don't like how my voice sounds. I don't like that. Well, then maybe you should figure something else out, because podcast isn't gonna work if you think like that. But if you just accepted everything for what it was and just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. If nobody likes it, nobody likes it.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, at least I tried. But what if somebody likes it? What if that somebody shows it to somebody else who likes it?
Yep.
And that's somebody else who somebody else likes it. And then it keeps going. Next thing you know, you wake up one day, oh shit, I got 1,000 views. Oh shit, I got 10,000 views. Mm-hmm. Right? You don't know. But if you don't start, then you never know. But you have to be able to at least understand what is stopping you from doing it, and then fight that urge that's trying to keep you back and hold you back. Because like I said, for example, with the podcast, if you keep saying, oh, I'm sorry, but then you never really self-analyze, why am I not starting? And you just, a year goes by, yeah, I guess I'll do it. And then you say, then somebody starts a podcast. Oh, yeah. And then you go, oh yeah, I was gonna start one, but yeah, no, I never did it. And then that's when you realize, why didn't I ever start it?
Mm-hmm.
But the sooner you self-analyze and understand what's stopping you, then the sooner you can fix that, which in return can help you start to figure shit out.
Dude, that's like, I say this a lot, but like that's so important, because understand what's stopping you might not be what you think it is. Like, I might say to myself, oh, damn, I'm not where I want to be because I live here, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it could be like, why don't I use this as a certain trampoline to get me to where I want to live, right?
Yeah.
Or it might be, a big one, it's family. Like, a lot of people are scared to take risks for the opinion of their families. Like, parental disappointment is a big roadblock for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's an inevitable roadblock if you have desires that don't align with your parents' needs. Like, maybe your parents want you to become a doctor, right? And you're totally cool with becoming a doctor, then good for you, go become a doctor, right? But maybe your parents want you to become a doctor, but you really want to be a painter. Now, you got to take leaps and bounds. Now, you're going to face a point where it's like, all right, what do I want versus what do they want? Yeah. So it all goes back to that leap, that risk you have to take. I was thinking about this story in my head, and I mentioned this earlier. When Steve Jobs was starting Apple, right? Mm-hmm. And they didn't have the cash on hand to fund the manufacturing of the computers. So they basically did it on credit, right? And they had 30 days to pay it back. And I think it was on like day 25, they started stressing because they hadn't sold the single computer. And they were going to company to company to company trying to sell out these computers, right? And I think it was like day 27 or 28 where they ended up landing a deal where somebody bought out all the computers and they wound up like 10xing their money, paying off the credit. And that ended up funding, Apple going forward. But he had to take that leap. And Steve Jobs is Steve Jobs. We all know the name Steve Jobs now. Everybody knows what Apple is. Yeah. But he had to take that leap. Now, I'm not saying put everything on a credit card and fucking run around out here spending wild, but understand you have to try. Yeah. Mitigate your risk, but you have to try.
Yeah. Imagine if you never tried. That shit right there is not there.
Yep.
Probably.
We'll probably still have flip phones.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows where we are? Be on my fucking next step. Younger guys won't understand it.
Fucking next step. God damn, that's a throwback.
But yeah, like I said, like we both said, you gotta understand what stops you. Like, I really want to live in Miami. What's stopping me? Myself. Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I don't make enough money. Well, why don't you make enough? Figure something out. Figure out, okay, what can you do to make more fucking money then? Okay, I figured it out. Here's how I have enough money now. Now you have the money. Now what do you need to do with it? Okay, I think I need to do this, this, and this, and then within this time frame I can get there. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck are you doing then? Yeah. Make it happen. That's where I'm at right now. And like the hardest part right now for me is trying to find the new income. Like, I'm trying to increase my income so I can save more, so I can leave sooner. That's the issue. But I understand it, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm doing something. Like, I haven't got more income yet, but that doesn't mean I'm just waiting for it to fall in my lap either. Like, I applied to like 10, 15 jobs a day. Problem is they just don't fucking hire me. But I've been doing it, and like, I'm going out, I'm talking to people, I'm trying to set up ways to get there, because what I want is to be in Miami, because I feel Miami will change my life and open up doors for me that I don't have open over here. And I can do all of that, end up going and be 100% fucking wrong, come right back. But at least when I come back, I can say, hey, you know what? It didn't work out. It wasn't it. But what if I go and those doors do open up, and now I have everything I ever wanted? Now I'm like, holy shit. Just a year ago, I was fucking talking about how I want to be here. Now I have more than I ever expected I'd ever have a year later. Like, so much can change, but you just gotta take the steps, figure it out, understand what's stopping you. I think it's probably the biggest one. It's probably the number one thing first. Like, yeah, like, okay, I want this. Okay, what's stopping me from getting it? Oh, this is what's stopping me from getting it. Okay, how am I gonna get there and do this? I'm not really too sure, but I'm just throw myself in, figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
And that alone is already leaving your comfort zone.
Dude, you blew that out the park. Like, it's like a track runner, right? When you don't know what's stopping you, and you might not, you can self-analyze and you won't figure everything out, right? Life has unexpected turns. That's just what life is. But like, if you just don't try or you don't seek to improve or understand what it is that's stopping you, it's like a track runner running with a blindfold, not understanding where the hurdles are. But guess what? Let's say you self-analyze and you realize what's stopping you is you're not willing to, let's say, wake up early, right? Or wake up a little earlier. So like that, you can get a little like 8 to 12 p.m. job or something like that. Or get like a little part-time job, right? But you got to self-analyze and say, oh shit, this is what's stopping me from doing that. So let me fix this. And guess what? Now I have that job. So like that, I can have, let's say, a little more income, right?
Yeah.
Or it might be that you seek validation too much. This is another reason why people don't do a lot of things. For example, you know how many people probably recorded episode 1 of a podcast, but they didn't get validation, so they didn't record episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, probably a ton.
Like, understand the delay of gratification is so important. And where this has been mentioned before, like we spoke about it before, but like really analyze yourself and see where you're getting this validation from and how quick are you getting it in all realms of life. Like I've mentioned this before, TikTok is a great example of validation. You swipe for 1 second and right away you already know what the video is about. You know everything that the content creator had to say, X, Y, and Z, right? So you're expecting quickness. Now, that might actually be detrimental for whatever it is you're trying to do in the long run. Like, we keep using the podcast as an example, but that quickness is getting ingrained in you. So now we recorded 6 episodes. Why aren't we at 1 million subscribers kind of thing? Yeah. So, and that's a toxic trait. Maybe that's what's stopping you from progressing. Now, those are 2 examples that were just off the top of the head. But
another good example too, like, just think about it this way. Think about when you were a kid, right? You opened up Windows. That shit took 1 million years to fucking open. Now, bro, if you open up a computer or go to a web browser and it doesn't load within 1 second, what the fuck, bro? This fucking computer. I need a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, no, you don't, bro. Just chill out. Like, just wait 2 more seconds. It's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. But now we live in that age where it's so much instant gratification. So, like, that's why I said, like, people say they try, but they don't really try because they do something 1 time, 2 times, maybe 3, 4 times, even us 6 times. We didn't get the result we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I tried. No, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you made that 7th episode, you would have got that gratification. Maybe the 15th episode would have been the gratification. Maybe you on your 99th episode, you say, you know what, I'm not even gonna put out the 100th one. I'm done. Like, this is stupid. Like, or all right, fine. You know what? I'll put out the 100th one just to say I did 100. 100th one blows up.
Yeah.
101st one blows up. I'm just like, you don't know. Like, you may stop here. As like, you ever see it's been around for years. The picture of like, it's like one guy, like, they're both in a cave.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hitting, the guy has like 1/4 of an inch left, and then all the diamonds are right there, but he gave up and just walked away. And whereas the other guy is like halfway there, and he's just still going at it, and he's gonna make it because he's still going at it. But the other guy just had to hit the wall 1 more time, and he would have had everything he was looking for. And it's like that same thing, like, bro,
dude,
stop going for the instant gratification. Like, bro, we could do this a year from now, have freaking 100 episodes recorded, still have nothing, right? But who knows? Maybe a year from now we record his 1 year anniversary. Wow, woo.
Yeah, we made it a year.
We made it a year. And we think back and we're like, honestly, man, we don't really have the time for this no more. It's not really worth it. And then we decide, you know what, F it, bro. Let's just put out one last episode, a goodbye episode. Mm-hmm. Put it out, blows up, boom. All of a sudden we have time for a podcast now. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? But what if we put it out, it doesn't blow up, and then we say, you know what, fuck it, let's put out one more after that one. That one blow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just gotta keep going. You gotta really try. Like, you have to really try. Like, failure cannot be an option. You know what I'm saying? Like
and giving up isn't a fucking option.
Exactly, yeah. Giving up to me is failure because
Mm-hmm.
like you're failing yourself at that point. You're not even giving yourself a chance. But failure you have to go into it understanding that failure cannot be an option. It's not like, oh well, no, I'm gonna try and I hope it works. It's like, no, I'm gonna do this and it has to work. There's no other option. It's not. There's no. Oh, okay. You know what? It just didn't work out. No, it's going to work out, and you're gonna make it work out. Like that's the mindset you have to go into it with. I feel like a lot of people go into things and they're just like going through the motions and stuff. It's like for example, actually I don't want to bring up the gym. We bring it up too much.
We've brought it up in every single episode.
I know, but like,
why stop now?
Right? The gym, right? I could say, oh, you know, I hope this summer I have a nice body, so I'm gonna try to go to the gym. I hope I get a nice body when I go to the gym. Hope? What do you mean you hope you get a nice body when you go to the gym? What, you're just going there to just go, oh, well, I hope I get strong now. No, you're going there and saying, I want a nice body for the summer. I'm gonna do everything I have to do to get that nice body for the summer. Like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure it happens. Failure's not an option. Summer's coming, whether I like it or not. I have to look good. I will look good. There's no, oh, I tried, but like, you know, I just didn't look good. No, I'm gonna look good. I don't care what the fuck you think. I'm gonna do if I gotta come to the gym for 10 minutes because that's all I have, I'm gonna go for fucking 10 minutes, craziest 10 minutes of my fucking life. I don't care what, when, where, how, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do it because failure is not an option. You have to go into it with that mindset.
Dude, nobody loses anything except for you when you start using excuses.
Yep.
Bro. Kevin Hart one time said on the Joe Rogan podcast, where he was like, no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what's going through your head, no matter how down you feel or how hype you feel, that sun's gonna fucking rise in the morning. Guess what? And it's gonna set and the moon's gonna come up and then that's gonna set. But guess what? You can depend on that cycle happening. And every time it happens, another day went by. And you're gonna sit here and sulk or mourn or just not fucking push. Like, nobody, your excuses hurt nobody except for you.
Yeah.
You're the only person that's losing out. And honestly, future you is the person you're deriving it from. You're taking it away from. Like, truthfully, this is going to be an extreme reach for the way this is interpreted. But look at yourself now, right? And imagine your future children. Now, let's say you wanted to become an athlete, let's just say, hypothetical. But you didn't put in the hours at the gym, or practice every day was too much for you. And, you know, maybe you just didn't want to have to do X, Y, and Z. But, you know, you like the idea of becoming an athlete. You know who lost out on that? You, but also your future children. Because you could have given your children a life in a way where, you know, you took care of them and they were, you know, well-fed and everything like that. But instead, now they're struggle babies, right? Very extreme and polar example. But I got this from Inky Johnson, where it's like, you have to understand that quitting doesn't just affect you. It affects your bloodline. Because you could have set up a life for your future family, but instead, you let an excuse of, nah, I'm too tired today. Stop that. Yeah. Or, you know what? This didn't get 1,000 million trillion views. We shouldn't do a podcast no more.
Yeah.
But in some fucking universe, we continued, and we had the #1 podcast on Mars. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, #1 podcast in the Milky Way galaxy too.
But, Mars.
No, but it's true, man. Failure cannot be an option. Like, I don't know. It's easy to give up. That's the thing. Like, especially when you're trying to figure shit out, when you just throwing yourself into something, when you don't know what the fuck you're doing, when you're outside your comfort zone, when you don't really know why you're not even starting, like what's stopping, all of that stuff is literally a recipe for, it's okay, just stop. You have all these excuses. It's okay, don't stop. Don't do it, it's okay. Just do this. You'll be fine. What? No, man, you can't think that way. You have to make it happen. If that's what you truly want, you have to make it happen. Or at least try your best to make it happen. Say, you know what? I fucking gave it my all and it just didn't work. But shit, at least you know that you gave it your all. Versus like taking no risk per se. I say in quotations because to me, taking no risk is probably the riskiest thing you could do. Because you're choosing to live this life right here, and now you never know what could have been. Like Drewski has could have been records. Like, it's true. If you never take the risk, per se, well then you never know what could have happened. Who knows? You could have been the next Elon Musk, the next Nikola Tesla, the next Bill Gates, the next Albert Einstein, the next this. But you never tried. So how the fuck do you know? Instead, you took a much riskier route by saying, I'm just going to stay like this. That's the biggest risk you could take, in my opinion. In my opinion, taking no risk is taking the biggest risk of all of them. Because at least you know, if shit hits the fan, if this doesn't work, I still have this. I can still live this life. I'll just work my 9 to 5. I'll let my wife bully me. I'll let my kids disrespect me. And I'm just going to drink this beer and watch TV till 2 a.m, go to sleep, wake up, and do this again for the rest. That's always an option. You always have the option to do that. Let that be your life.
It's true.
But at least if you tried every single other possible opportunity or possibility and gave all of them your 100% all, at least you could say, you know what? I guess this is the life that was meant for me. Like, that is what it is. But at least I tried. But I guarantee you, if you gave everything 100% on it, that's not going to be your life. The people who live life like that are the ones that never gave anything a chance. They never took that risk.
Bro, you know what you just reminded me of? You ever had a conversation with someone and they're like down on themselves, like, yo, I don't know, man. I tried everything. Oh, but did you try this? No. Like, motherfucker, then you didn't try everything. Like,
or not only that, like, oh, you tried? Okay, what'd you do to try? Oh, well, you know, I spent like 2 weeks coding, for example. No, I know you tried coding, but
no.
But you did more than 2 weeks, and you're still learning and stuff. You're still doing. But it's like, oh, you know, I tried for 2 weeks, but nah, it's not for me. Okay.
No, the reason why I started laughing.
Keep working that job.
The reason why I started laughing is because I know people like that.
Yeah. So, like you ask them like, oh, well, what'd you do to try? Oh, you know what? Nah, I can't do 100 push-ups. You could do 100 push-ups. That's crazy. I wish I could do 100 push-ups. What do you mean you wish? Have you tried? Oh yeah, I tried, but like I suck at push-ups. What do you mean you tried and you suck? How do you suck at push-ups? Everybody sucks.
Just push.
Just keep doing push-ups. Eventually you get good at it. No, yeah, I did, but like I did it for like a week and I'm like I couldn't get more than 10. What do you think? You're gonna do it for 5 days and all of a sudden you can do 100? No, you gotta do more than just a week. It's gonna take months. So you gotta put the work in.
And that's the craving of the gratification that I say people are lacking, because in reality, it's not that hard to not get results and keep going. It's really not. You just have to correct yourself up here.
Yeah.
The hard part is understanding that that's what's making you stop.
Yeah.
Because, listen, as people, we have big egos. Everybody does. I don't care what nobody says. Just our egos are tailored different ways. It is a humbling experience to try to do something and to eat dog shit at it for a long time until eventually you get a little better and a little better and a little better. Suddenly your 10 push-ups turn into 11, 12, 14, 16, and then 30. But that takes time. Yeah. There's a lot of days of doing 10.
There's
8.
a lot of days of going backwards. What the fuck? I usually do 15. Why can I only do 10 today?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
And then you start analyzing. Once you stop seeking the gratification and you can analyze, it's like, all right, well, why did I only do 5 today? I went to sleep at 4 a.m. yesterday and I woke up at 8. I only got 4 hours of sleep. I didn't sleep a full 8 hours. Guess what? My muscles are tired. I'm gonna sleep good the rest of the week, right? 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. And guess what? Now you might be back to 10, or maybe you only go up to 7. Guess what? You moved forward again. Like, and then you can be like, all right, maybe I really do need to start sleeping. Or maybe you go out. Now you're sleeping, right? But 3 straight days you had Burger King, or you had, McDonald's or whatever it is. And you're like, damn, why do I feel like shit? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating this. Bam. Maybe you clean up your diet a little bit. And guess what? After a week of that, you feel a little better, right? Yeah. Guess what? Now that 7 goes back up to 10. And it's like, oh, wait, I'm feeling good now. Now that 10 turns into 11. But if you're constantly just craving the gratification, you never allow yourself to see what it is you have to improve. Like, that's why most people fail at, honestly, I'm going to use that as an example, YouTube. Like, people who try to start YouTube channels, but realize you got to put up a lot of work before you can get even 50 to 100 views, right?
Yeah.
So that's where everybody, like, tailors off. Everybody falls off is in that first challenge, because nobody's willing to go back and analyze I need to get better at this.
Yeah.
It's just the gratification.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think my fault. That was an awkward pause because I was fighting the cough. But yeah, like I said, I think it's like our favorite line. It's all mental.
It's all fucking mental.
It's all mental. It's all perspective. It's all about how you look at things. You can either look at it as a victim, or you can look at it as a problem solver. So you can look at it and say, this is why, this is why, this is why, this is why, this is why. Or you can be like, I'm gonna figure that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, it's all just, you're looking at the same problem. Just 2 people are looking at it with 2 different mindsets. One's letting themselves be defeated before they even try. And the other one's not even accepting defeat as an option. It's like, no, I'm going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
The other person's like, oh, nah, I'm good. Ain't no way. The other person's like, nah, there's a fucking way. And I'm going to figure it out. And I have to figure it out. There's no, you know what, maybe not. It's, oh, this didn't work? Okay, well, I'm going to try this. Oh, this didn't work? Okay, I'm going to try this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then it's almost like you become obsessed.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the kind of mindset you have to have. Like, there's no other option. I cannot fail. I will figure this shit out. And I promise you, if you do that with anything, you will probably end up succeeding at something.
And that something might not be the thing that you expected.
Exactly. 100%. But yeah, like I said, overall, figuring shit out. We're all trying to figure it out. Everybody's on the same boat. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to figure shit out. These are issues I still deal with in certain parts. There's some things like I have this mindset on down pat. Like I know I have this mind. And there's other things where I'm like, but I'm trying to apply it. So like, we're not perfect either. Like, you're not gonna be 100% perfect all the time, but just try and try to figure it out. And when you do try to figure out, anytime an excuse comes up, don't take the excuse. Figure out, no, I'm not taking an excuse. I'm gonna figure it out. Oh, you know what? That means I can't go out party with my boys tonight. It's all right. I'll party with them next week then. But for this week, I need to figure this shit out. When I figure it out, if there's no issue that I have a couple hours to go out with my boys that night, okay, I'll go out. Until then, I'm figuring this shit out. Like for me, I want to move to Miami. Probably not gonna go out with my friends for a long time to party, and because that's spending unnecessary money that I could use to put to then make that transfer and that move to where I want to be. So you got to make some temporary sacrifices too. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. If that was the case, if everybody would be fucking happy, depression wouldn't be the leading cause of fucking whatever it is. And
I almost said a instant ban word.
Deletion.
Deletion.
Yeah, you can't say the S word.
What's it called?
But yeah, like, I don't know. That's just my perspective on everything. Comment down what you think. If you want to shit all over it, by all means, go ahead. I'd love to hear your perspective.
True. Real quick, I have a lot of examples in my head. when you have a goal, and like you said before, become obsessed with your goal, your vision, right? Because I was going to bring up Bill Gates when he built Microsoft, right? Do you know the story of how he actually wrote the code for Microsoft?
Yeah.
He locked himself in a hotel room. It was either for 48 or 72 hours where he just started like writing out the lines of codes and just like figuring it out. Like, bam, cut out all distraction. I'm not going to talk to anybody until I figure this out. And at first, your mind is probably like, all right, let's go outside, right? Whatever. But once it realizes it's not going to get the gratification, it says, all right, let's figure this out so we can get that gratification later on down the line. And he literally wrote out the lines of codes for Microsoft, which who fucking knows how many lines of code that man wrote out. But it's that willingness to seclude yourself, right, for a period of time to say, I need to focus on this. And that's what a lot of people are struggling with.
Yeah. And sacrifices.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
What if you're not willing to sacrifice anything, then you care about the extra shit in life over your vision and your goal. Like, we need to figure out how to improve, let's say, the next episode. But we don't record, we go out and we party all weekend, right? Guess what? We end up not recording. Now we miss a date, right? That means we cared more about partying than we did about the podcast for that week.
Yeah.
But you have to analyze yourself. And you got to understand what you care about. If you catch yourself doing this a lot, then maybe the thing you're doing, you're just not that into it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And that's something I noticed too. That's why I stopped playing baseball. Well, playing baseball, like, seriously. I noticed I'm not that really into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at all these other things I've put over it. Like, I'm probably not in an interest of mine to take serious. And then I just I tried figuring out the next thing. Okay. But at least baseball, I could say, I won't even say I tried because I didn't put enough work in. But I did play for like 16 years. But there was definitely, even though I realized it wasn't for me, I also realized that there was more I could have done. It just wasn't something that piqued my interest anymore, or probably ever, to be honest. But anyways, to wrap everything all up, I mean, like we said, everyone's trying to figure life out, whether you're 50, 30, 20, 18, 16, 25, 35. Like, everybody's trying to figure shit out. It may not be the same thing for everyone. I think maybe for people in their early 20s really trying to figure life out versus somebody maybe in their 60s. But that doesn't mean there aren't people in their 60s who are still trying to figure their fucking life out. Like, everybody's trying to figure shit out. And I think the only way you can figure something out is, again, like we said, just throwing yourself in there, accepting that you don't know everything or what you're doing, leaving that comfort zone, understanding what's holding you back, and understanding that going into it with the mindset of that failure is not an option. I think with those, you can tackle many, many things head on and do probably very well at it, and learn whether, okay, this is what I want, this isn't what I want, this is what I want, this. And with that mindset, and following those points, I think will help you a lot. But like I said, don't feel alone either, because even though we're giving this advice, it's also advice that we're taking and trying to apply to our lives as well. Like, literally every single day. Yeah, like I'm just as lost as you. Look, it's called Lost Boyz for a reason.
Look, no bullshit, complete 100% transparency. The whole reason why we're recording the Figure It Out episode today was because what were we doing? Having a conversation, trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, we had something else planned for today, but this is what felt right to record, because this is truthfully where we're at right now. We're trying to figure something out. So, like, at the end of the day, the points we gave you, which are honestly things that we're trying to implement into our own lives and implementing into our own lives, are just what we can give you now. Who knows if 6 months down the line, we did figure some shit out, and now we can give you new points. Exactly. Yo, when you take that risk, you have to try X, Y, and Z, right? But this is just, this episode, which may have been, you know, a little all over the place, was probably our most, like, probably genuine episode, because this is literally an hour before recording what we're discussing.
Not even less, probably like 20 minutes before.
And it was like, yo, we're sitting here giving each other advice and everything. Like,
we were talking to each other, trying to figure out how the fuck we were gonna make it to Miami.
Literally, we were like,
and then that's when I was just like, why don't we just talk about figuring it out?
Yeah,
that's how this episode came about.
Don't worry, look, yo, mark my fucking words. When we have a condo in Miami, I'm going to be unbearable with how many times I repost this clip. Just fucking know that. Ooh, future Brandon's about to shit on some people.
Fuck it.
Yo.
Fuck it. Why not? Yeah, that would be dope. Not that it will be dope. It's going to be dope.
It will be dope.
No, it's going to be
It's
dope.
going to be dope.
Yeah. It's all perspective and mindset. But yeah.
Sure.
Anything you want to say before we sign out?
Stop being a bitch and take accountability for your shit. Improve yourself. Look at yourself. Fix yourself. Figure it out.
There you go. He said it all. Figure it out. Lost Boyz episode 6, the #1 podcast not only in Mars, but in the entire Milky Way.
Bang.
And we're out. See you next week.
Peace.